retired captain in the FDNY.
Correct.
You were also the deputy commissioner of the Emergency Operations Center at the time of 9/11, working under Rich Zere, who has since passed since 9/11. And you were headquartered in Building 7. I want to talk about those days' events. How are you, Rich? Rich Rotanz, everybody. Rich Rotanz.
Thanks for having me.
It's an honor. We've had many conversations over the years.
Right.
And, you know, people need to understand the gravity of what happened on that day. 16-acre debris field, 5 buildings fully collapsed, another 3 partially collapsed, 11 buildings suffered major damage. Another 37 buildings suffered damage. The destruction. You know, I got a chance to go down to the pile 3 days after 9/11. Never get that out of my head. I'll never get the smell out of my head of the debris and anything else that was going on, and all the ambulances sitting on the Marine Terminal, driveway. None of them moving. There were no survivors. Tell us about that day, Rich Rotanz. Where were you that morning?
That morning, I was with 2 of my colleagues on the 23rd floor discussing about a drill we're going to have the next day. It was going to be a biodefense drill.
In Building 7.
Building 7. And then we're going to have this biodefense drill over at Pier 92, having all the cadets and probationary firemen from fire and police, about 1,500 of them, and see how fast we can give out medications, M&Ms. We're doing a time series study on that. And as we're discussing, I could see out the window a plane flying very low. I go, this guy is kind of low. And all of a sudden, you hear him plowing over our heads and hit Tower 1. And we all knew right away that this is not an accident.
Wow.
So with that, I had my staff fire up the OC. Don't call anybody in, but just get it going. And I went downstairs to the lobby of Tower 1 to meet with the fire city director to start a command post for the fire, PD, and Giuliani. With that, I met my friend Joe Pfeiffer, the battalion chief. He was with 2 French photographers filming up the life of a probationary fireman.
Who can forget that footage?
Now I'm going to go back to Tower 7. With that, we heard another explosion, and that was the second plane hitting the second tower. The big problem about going to and from Tower 1 and Tower 7 was the jumpers. The first fireman that was killed by a jumper. And you have to really watch where they were coming, because they were coming out in the dozens on the east side of the building where you really couldn't see from West Street. So when I went back to Tower 7, got upstairs to the 23rd floor, and I told the staff, you're out of here. Go downstairs, take the stairs, and go north. Don't go south, go north.
So you evacuated Building 7.
I told the security from Tower 7 and 6 and 5 to get everybody out of the buildings, because we have no idea what's going on. We knew we were under attack. We didn't know about Shanksville. We didn't know about the Pentagon. We knew that New York City is getting hit.
Yeah, and in just an hour or so before, Betty Young called, and she was the stewardess of Flight 11, fully loaded with fuel, taken off of Boston. She said that we've been hijacked, and a flight attendant was stabbed, is in critical condition. Other people were killed. They've taken control of the airplane. But you guys didn't know that. No,
not at all. All we knew that the planes are flying into our buildings and that we were under attack, and we had to set up operations to get out of 7 and go set up our command posts down the street at the command vehicle. That's what we were doing initially.
You tried to go back into Building 7, right?
I was ordered to go back.
That was after the Tower 2 fell, right?
When all the towers were gone, Chief Hayden at the time, one of the surviving chiefs.
Pete Hayden, right?
Pete Hayden, great guy, outstanding man, asked me and 2 of the chiefs to take a look at Tower 7. All right, and we did that, and we went up as far as the 8th floor. And you could hear the building creak and crack, and you hear things upstairs falling apart. And what was kind of bizarre, we saw an elevator box down the hallway from the elevator shaft. And we thought that was bizarre. So we had tools, and we popped up the roof, and there was nobody in it, fortunately. And we looked around, there was numerous columns and beams missing on the south side of Tower 7. And so the chief goes, time to get out of here. I go, no problem, Chief.
And you described to me that there were chunks taken out of Building 7, the size of trucks, from the debris field, as well as all the surrounding buildings that were damaged. Correct. The building was gravely damaged.
I would say big time, because you could see numerous holes bigger than Mack trucks, for a couple of floors. So this building was going to definitely come down.
There was no water pressure in that 16-acre debris field. Is that why?
I assume so, but no one was fighting the fires anymore. No one was going into Tower 7, so they just let it burn. I mean, the chief we knew we lost a lot of men, had no idea how many at the time, but
Yeah.
we're not going to lose any more. That's why he said it fell down like 5:30 in the evening.
Yeah.
We were there at 12:30.
12:30. Yeah. Okay. Such a tragic day. 410,000 first responders came through the pile. 70,000 have cancer, COPD, mesothelioma showing up 20 years later. Now new diseases that they're not even classifying as part of the Victims' Compensation Fund.
Right.
And PTSD. Almost 8,000 have died so far, including that day, either from illness or that day. The loss for you and your friends and family. Tell us the depth and the breadth of that loss and watching people around you suffer long term.
I just buried a friend of mine not too long ago. He was a fireman with me in 289 engine, Chris Revere, great guy. And it just seems like every month we're burying one or two other guys, firemen and caps and Port Authority. Setauket Firemen just did a memorial for a new 9/11 memorial, and they read off the names of those died since. It was over 1,000. Over 1,000 cops, ATF, but state troopers and fire.
Wow.
It's disheartening. So at the scene, we had trouble with communications, but my two sons are on the job. They're captains now, and they were at the scene, and they were told I was killed, and I was told they were killed, and we met each other in Weston Vesey. So
there's a 40-year history of terrorism in New York. And at that point, there were so many attacks broken up. And I talk about that in depth in my Giuliani interview. So many attacks, so many things. The Brooklyn Bridge, the Holland Tunnel, the St. Regis Hotel, the UN, the FBI headquarters, the GW Bridge, right. Midtown Tunnel, 13 synagogues in Brooklyn. So many plots were foiled, in the past. And then, February 26, 1993, bombing. My friend Pete Brennan died, I think, going up in Tower 2 in the 74th floor. Last seen, with gear on his back, charging up.
The radio communications were good. Patty Brown, who died in Line 3, he was ordered by the chief to evacuate Dutch Floor. He goes, I'm not leaving these people. They're burned or injured. So he was on the upper floors, like the 60s or 70s floors. So the communications a lot of times were pretty good. Eventually it died when Tower 1 came down because the large antenna and everything else went to...
Okay. Is there anything that you can think of in 2020 hindsight that would have made a difference when 9/11 happened? Or was it just so catastrophic it really didn't matter?
I don't think anything would have mattered. It was very catastrophic. I mean, we lost water. We lost our radios. We lost a lot of manpower, vehicles. We lost the bulk of our special operations crew that was there. It was unfortunate. Ray Downey, God bless him. Yeah. He was the most famous rescue chief in history. And Pete Gansey, the chief of the department. Yeah. He wasn't leaving. He's not going to leave his men, and Bill Feehan. So you have the most famous fire officers in history were lost. Have
the needs of the survivors and those who are sick generally taken care of?
I think so. I was diagnosed with skin cancer from 9/11, and they took care of me. I go to my 9/11 medical at the 9/11 medical facilities, and they can't do enough for you. So if there's anything going on, if you have something that you have to go for surgery for or procedures, done.
Where were you in the first World Trade Center bombing?
I was a covering captain that was sent me to the site. So
wow. So you got there. There was 6 floors blown out of the. Now they parked the truck in the wrong garage. Right? At the hotel, not in the main garage. Right. Probably would have done a lot more deaths, right? If they did it right? I think so, yeah. And it's something how they discovered the car. So the guy didn't got rid of the truck right away. Well, so the FBI didn't solve that. They pulled the axle out of the van up, and it was a New York City high school educated motor pool guy. Because the FBI couldn't identify the VIN number on it. And he said, no, there's a book. It's masked because it's a rental. You have to go to another book. And that's how they discovered that it was a rental. Right. And they called up Mahmoud Abba Halima and Mohammed Salame to come pick up their, $500 deposit at the truck rental place in Jersey. And they actually showed up for their deposit. That's how they were caught. That's how smart they were. Yeah, well, Ramzi Youssef was the mastermind behind that, and he was the nephew of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. And bin Laden, the first plot for 9/11 was to break El Sayed Nasser out of Attica prison who got sentenced there on a gun charge for killing Maya Kahana on the Marriott East Side Hotel. And then the second string of attacks were going to be to kidnap Aldemato's daughter and blow up 13 synagogues. But Ramzi Youssef got involved with bin Laden, ordering him to come here to teach him. He said, go teach him how to make that bomb, right? Pretty incredible. The history when you look into it. And they were recruiting in the Al Farouk Mosque and the Sahadi spice market for with the Mujahideen to fight in Afghanistan for years, right under our noses. Sure. Blind Sheikh allowed to come here legally in 1990. Have you been back to the site? Do you go to the anniversary? I
don't go to the anniversary per se. I just go to the site once in a while, the museum, which I think did a great job.
Yeah.
They did a very good job. And they treat all the responders, they don't pay tickets, whatever. They give you a hat and a badge. And they did a great job. And I just see all the guys that we lost. They have great photographs of their rigs and so on.
These people are the best of the best, the greatest generation.
Yeah.
Right? How about going forward? At the FDNY, are they in good shape?
I think they're in great shape. I mean, I have two of my boys that are captains on the job. They love it. There's things change. Do people change? Yeah, all the time. Okay. When I came on a job in the 70s, the guys go, you missed the Warriors.
A lot of the children of the lost firefighters are FDNY now.
Yep. It should be.
Wow. Yeah. All right, everybody. Richard Rotanz, former FDNY captain. He was the deputy director that day of 9/11 in the Emergency Operations Center under the leadership of Rudy Giuliani. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, it's Christina again. Is your shower trying to tell you something? Is getting in and out of the bathtub becoming a safety concern? Are you worried about the cost of a bathroom remodel that could go on for weeks and weeks? Well, now you can have a gorgeous new bath or shower that's safer at a price you can afford with a one-day jacuzzi bath remodel. And now they're bringing you this special TV offer. We're waiving all installation costs and postponing all payments for up to 1 year. Jacuzzi bath remodel has a design you'll love at a price you can afford.
Literally, they came in the morning, did the demolition, and installed our bathtub in 1 day. I definitely wish we called jacuzzi a lot sooner.
Okay, so tell me, what are the two most common reasons people are calling jacuzzi bath remodel right now?
Well, maybe they're just tired of the old, worn-out eyesore of a bath. Often they have dated colors, tiles that might be cracking and fading, or impossible to clean grout. Christina, did you know that the average shower has up to 300 linear feet of grout?
Honestly, I had no idea.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of scrubbing. So that's definitely one of the reasons people call. And you'll love that the new bath or shower just rinses clean and resists mold and mildew. Now, another big reason people call is they've been feeling uneasy stepping over that tub to take a shower. And we're here to help with a safer, more stylish shower that you'll love and is custom designed for you.
Every time I stepped over my old bathtub, I worried I might fall. I don't have those fears anymore. Jacuzzi bath remodel gave me a gorgeous shower that's safe too.
It was done in the same day. We did not have to wait. It is amazing.
Time is running out to take advantage of this special offer. When you call right now, we're waiving all installation costs with our Christina Across America offer and no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Call now to schedule your free, no obligation in-home design consultation. You can create your new bath or shower customized just for you, installed in just 1 day from the most trusted name with Jacuzzi Bath Remodel. Call now.
It's never been easier. Get your free design consultation, schedule your one-day installation, and start loving your new bath or shower right away.
You can go from this to this, and from this to this, or even from this to all this in just 1 day.
I did not like my bathroom before and was embarrassed by it.
Yes. This is unbelievable. It is stunning. I can't believe it.
Time is running out to take advantage of this special offer. When you call right now, we're waiving all installation costs with our Christina Across America offer and no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Call now to schedule your free, no obligation in-home design consultation. You can create your new bath or shower customized just for you, installed in just 1 day from the most trusted name with Jacuzzi Bath Remodel. Call now.
Welcome back. You're watching Breaking Point. I went to 38 states with the network, with Real America's Voice, around the country, following the Trump campaign, and every blue city I went to, even small places like across Wisconsin or Albuquerque, New Mexico, incredible crime. But I called out the crime a year ago on the ground in North Carolina, in Charlotte, when Trump was endorsed by the police over there. This murder on the light rail is just tragic and heartbreaking. They got to get their act together. But now I want to share with you my sit down with Rudy Giuliani on 9/11. Mayor Rudy Giuliani, it's an honor to be with you today, and I want to thank you for taking the time out to talk with us at Real America's Voice.
Thank you very much.
9/11 is here again, the 24th anniversary. Solemn date in our history, right?
Probably one of the primary dates that'll be remembered by us 300-400 years from now.
Yeah. Truly incredible day. And after the attacks, you coordinated the city response with the state and federal agencies, and then dealing with counterterrorism measures and the cleanup of the site. And almost everyone in the New York area was affected, some more than others. But whether you witnessed the attacks or you were there that day, or you lost a friend or a family member, everyone knew somebody who died or escaped. And we lost almost 500 Long Islanders, where I'm from.
Yeah, sure.
And having lost a very close friend, one of my best friends as a teenager, Peter Brennan in Rescue 4. And my sister lost 80 clients. My coworkers and employees and friends all lost fathers and sisters and brothers.
The numbers you're saying, you have to pause on all of them. I mean, when you lose one person, if somebody calls you and says your best friend died or your parent, it's devastating.
Yeah.
Imagine when you hear that you lost. My fire commissioner lost 372 of his firefighters. I would say that 10 of them were his lifetime friends.
Yes.
And many of them were his close friends and neighbors. The boy who used to do babysitting for his children was a fire captain, one of the bravest in our department, who died on September 11th. And he had to go on and run the department during its by far worst time in history. And he brought it such glory and honor that when I was knighted by the Queen of England, so was he. Because when the Queen gave me the order, the request to be knighted, I said, I didn't do this. I stood on the shoulder of giants, and I've got to take a few of them. I want you to knight them all.
Yeah.
But you got to take the fire commission, police commission. And they did. They knighted Tom Von Essen and dearly departed Bernie Kerik.
Yeah, well, everybody misses Bernie Kerik, and I wanted to get into that with you in a little bit here. I wanted to ask you if you can tell us that day you woke up, you went to work.
Yeah.
Tell us, walk us through that morning.
Without exaggerating, I do not think, unless I was extremely sick after that, there was a day I haven't thought about it. In fact, when I was extremely sick and had COVID and had 103, 104 temperature, and I was kind of, I guess you might call it hallucinating. I was talking about September 11th. And when I went under anesthesia for an operation, the doctors and Dr. Maria have given me a whole account of what I was saying. I was ordering people around at ground zero, and it was accurate. I mean, from what I could tell, I have a complete subconscious memory of it. So in any event, I was, first of all, I should set the scene. It was primary day in New York City. The Democrat Party and the Republican Party was selecting a candidate for mayor. I was term limited. I had 4 months to go. And it was going to be a contested primary because although I was only the third Republican elected in the 20th century and had won narrowly, but then I won a big, big victory in my reelection. I won by 18 points. Which were what we call LaGuardia numbers. So the party had revived. We had a Republican governor, and we had a candidate who could self-fund, Michael Bloomberg. But he was losing by about 8 to 10 points to the reflexive Democrat candidate. Primary day comes. Mike had a primary, a contested one, and the Democrats had a big contested primary. I went to breakfast that morning at the Peninsula Hotel to meet with a former assistant of mine, Bill Simon, who within 6 months ran for governor of California. And that's what I was talking to him about, with my counsel, Denison Young. And I went there because it was going to be an easy day. Primary day, not much happens until late in the day, and then everybody complains about the voting and we have to get involved and send the police or whatever, but it didn't start until 4. So I had my staff come in at 2, and I decided to I was going to have breakfast, and then I think I was going to take a ride to, I was going to go to a meeting, and all of a sudden, at the end of breakfast, I would say 9 o'clock, be about a little after 9, one of my security detail, Detective Patty Verone, walked in and whispered to Denny, and I said, what? She came over to me and she said, together with Denny, a twin-engine plane has hit the North Tower. It's very bad. I know you got to get down there. I said, of course, let's go. I immediately got up. I walked out with Bill for a reason that you'll have to ask Bill. He had the impulse to say to me, God bless you. Now, Bill is a very religious Catholic and a good man, but we've been together 100 times, 1,000 times, prosecuted cases with. And he would occasionally say, I'm praying for you, but that wasn't like a comment. There was something he got about how this is going to be different. When I walked outside, I looked up, not quite when I walked outside, I got outside, I saw smoke, got in the car, Denny got in the car. We started driving down from 54th Street to Lower Manhattan. We could see more flame than you'd have with a twin-engine plane. And both Denny and I said, I think it's worse. So I thought out loud, I said, like 2 possibilities. Terrorist, accident. Don't think it's a deliberate attack. The sky is too blue. I called the police commissioner, and without even saying hello, I said, Bernie, you agree, terrorist attack or accident? He says, absolutely, boss, but we're preparing for terrorist attack. Let's play that it's a terrorist attack, because if it isn't, what do we lose, right? We don't lose anything. I said, well, that means you cut off the bridge. He said, well, I hadn't, I wanted to let you, but I cut off both bridges. Nobody's coming into Manhattan right now. You come into Manhattan right now, you're going to be sitting in a prison. If we have terrorists here to do follow-up attacks, we don't want any more. And you know the problem we have with New Jersey. I said, he said, that one I got really sealed off. You better tell people don't come in from New Jersey. You're not getting in. Whatever problems we have, we want to solve them. Meanwhile, I brought cops in and we're moving them out. I want as few people on this island today so we can limit it. We can have free access. Who knows? There could be follow-up attacks. He said, you better call the White House too. I've been trying, can't get through. We think there are other attacks. We've been hearing rumors. I said, okay, Bern, but get a center ready, because our communicating by cell phone wasn't working. Get us a live center right near the
Barclay Street.
Yeah, right near there, so we can have we can have direct lines. I start driving toward it. We're watching it. We go by St. Vincent's Hospital and we see all of these doctors and nurses and stretchers on the street, and it says look like a war zone. Look like something I saw in Israel when I would go there for when there were attacks. I used to go at the request of the mayor to give them support. Bernie called me again, and then the third time he called me, we were less than a mile away, and he said, boss, that was the second plane that just hit. I said, God, I thought it was a secondary fire, because the first building sort of blocked the second. You couldn't see it exactly. Sure. We saw this big, pshoo, we had no idea it was a second plane. He said, boss, it was a big liner. And he immediately said, one of us said terrorism, the other said bin Laden. We knew it was bin Laden because he had threatened to bomb us a year and a half ago. He was a constant threat to the courthouse, federal courthouse, because the trial was going on. Sure. I mean, the only one who treated bin Laden lightly was Bill Clinton. Yeah. Who has never gotten the appropriate scrutiny for having done a Chamberlain.
He passed up on the opportunity.
Well, he did. I mean, we blame Chamberlain for disregarding Hitler. This guy disregarded bin Laden. He also declared war in the United States, and he killed American sailors. Yeah. You don't kill American sailors.
Kenya, Tanzania, the embassies, Americans were killed.
It was, when they talk about Biden's disgraceful turning his back on Americans, leaving them behind and getting them killed in Afghanistan, Bill Clinton did it multiple times. And I was friendly with Bill Clinton. I had to be. I never had respect for him. I mean, he's a terrible president.
Yeah, he admitted on Long Island at a luncheon in front of 1,500 people that they wanted to bring bin Laden here, but he turned it down.
Yeah, it's all because they were sucking up to Islam. The Democrat Party has become it always has been partial to communism or Marxism. Big segments of it. They always had opponents of that.
Yeah.
Now they're all there. Second, it's a pro-Islamic extremist party. No doubt about it, which makes it an anti-Semitic party. You can't be a Jew and speak out about Israel or Judaism. They'll throw you out.
As countries have walked away in the past few years from the US dollar, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, diversify into gold, into birch gold. And for over 5,000 years, gold has withstood inflation, geopolitical turmoil, and stock market crashes. And the great news is you can still get it. In fact, you can own gold and silver in a tax-sheltered retirement account. Birch Gold makes it easy to convert your IRA or 401k into an IRA in precious metals. And all you got to do is text the word America to 989898 to claim your free info kit on gold. With 20 years experience converting IRAs and 401ks into precious metal IRAs, Birch Gold can help you protect yourself with gold today by texting the word America to 989898 with an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, thousands of happy customers, and countless 5-star reviews. Secure your future with gold. Start today with a free info kit. Again, there's no obligation. Check it out. Make the request. Just text the word America to 989898.
Yes!
Summon Dale!
Who's Dale?
American Home Show now provides video chat with live repair experts for home fixes over the phone. Let's go fix that oven.
Okay, Dale.
Sign up today at ahs.com.
How does the world's most trusted dog expert keep his own dog so healthy?
Hi, I am Cesar Milan. In my 20 years rehabilitating dogs, I've seen too many struggle with health problems that no amount of training could fix. Then I discovered it wasn't the dog, it was their food. Fortunately, I found veterinarian Dr. Marty's Anti-Kibble Breakthrough.
Nature's Blend is packed with whole foods that are freeze-dried, locking in nutrients.
I saw remarkable improvements in my dogs within weeks.
Try Dr. Marty risk-free for 90 days. Plus, get a free gift when you call or visit drmartypets.com/Caesar.
The poverty is unimaginable. There are people who are struggling.
This is where she washes the dishes.
If you're ever going to allow your Christian faith to rise and to do something for God's chosen people, now is the time.
This is the home of Galina. She's 96 years old.
This is what she had to eat for today.
She has one pot with water and wheat.
My father was killed by the Nazis, and I was an orphan. I didn't know about God. But now, in the cold, hungry nights, I pray for food to the God I've never known. There are good people that love you.
You see the tears. Scripture says joy can come in the morning, and you can be the reason.
Right now in Ukraine, elderly Jews are trapped in unbearable poverty. If you will bless these hurting children of Israel, you will receive God's blessing in return. Your urgent gift today of $25 will help rush a survival food box filled with life-saving essentials. Call, scan, or go online now.
I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, I don't know how much longer she could have waited for us to come.
I can't even grow my food anymore. What will happen to me? I'm doomed to starve.
Tens of thousands of elderly Holocaust survivors in the former Soviet Union are living in extreme poverty, hungry, and forgotten. But through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, we can bring them hope.
Eggs. It's my favorite food. May you be blessed.
You say to them, we see you and we're here to help.
Please don't delay. Call, scan, or go online now.
Kevin paid off over $12,000 in credit card debt with the help of Consolidated Credit. They cut his interest rates and lowered his payments so he could pay off his debt fast. Call 800-596-8062 for a free consultation.
New York City has a 40-year history of Islamic terror. There's been hundreds of attacks foiled and intercepted over the years. They got away with a couple of them, but Rudy Giuliani was on the forefront of that. Here's part 2 of my interview with Rudy Giuliani. So I wanted to get into the terrorist aspect of it, but before
we weren't that bad then.
Yeah. Well, there's a 40-year history of terrorism in New York City, right?
Yeah, and I was involved in it from almost day one. Remember,
I wanted to ask you that.
My career was not politics. My career was I had every position in the Justice Department.
Associate Attorney General.
I started as a law clerk to a federal judge. I became an assistant U.S. attorney, a line prosecutor for 6 years. Tried 100 cases. Then I was in law practice for a few years, and Ronald Reagan made me the number 3 person in the Justice Department. And I gave that up to be U.S. attorney in Manhattan. All during that time, I prosecuted terrorism cases. Now, I was known for prosecuting the mafia and Wall Street. Those got the big publicity. But I prosecuted numerous terrorism cases and international drug dealing cases. I have an award from the Colombian government for helping to break up the cartels in Colombia. I have an award from the Mexican government for helping them with the cartel involvement with terrorist groups. People just don't know that. It didn't get as much publicity. But I and my assistants, and then the ones who were there, who were there. In other words, when New York had to take up terrorism, not only me, but the police department, the FBI, we had a joint terrorism task force.
Sure.
Specifically.
Yeah.
90% of it was Islamic terrorism. That's really the only real terrorism. They were experts on it.
So, okay.
We had been attacked in 93.
Where were you in the February 26, 1993 attack?
I was running for mayor.
You were running for mayor.
And it was one of the things that elected me, because Dinkins was in Japan.
Yeah.
Like the mayor of Los Angeles was in, where was it? Uganda, when Los Angeles burned down.
Yeah. Basso, right?
Yeah.
So the history of 9/11, I think it's important for the audience to know, right? Mayor Kahana was murdered by El Said Nasser in the Marriott Hotel.
Now that's when I was a law student.
Right? So he gets sent to Attica on a gun charge, El Said Nasser. The first attack was planning to break him out of Attica by Mohammed Salameh and Mahmoud Abu Halima, the blind sheikh, right? And that was foiled by Navy intelligence, I believe. And then the second plot was to kidnap Aldamado's daughter and blow up 13 synagogues. But bin Laden got wind of that. And he sent KSM's nephew, Ramzi Youssef, who was in the Philippines here.
You know the guys I was prosecuting in terror.
To teach him how to make the ammonium nitrate diesel fertilizer bomb.
Aldamado at the time was a great friend.
Yeah, and they did that, and then 3 months later, the day of terror, they were going to blow up the GW Bridge, the Holland Tunnel.
Yeah, but here's the good
Tunnel.
thing: the Democrat administration ignored it.
Yeah.
To the extent of empowering it. It wouldn't have happened if they had struck back. They weren't that powerful at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's always much easier to take these bastards out early than wait. Like you wait on Hitler, he controls the world. You wait on Stalin, he controls half the world. You wait on bin Laden, he's capable of taking down buildings.
Yes.
You go after bin Laden 6 years earlier, he's nothing. So, and they wouldn't. They should have taken him out 6 years earlier. But New York City didn't do the same thing. Because the year of the attack, I was running for mayor. First day I got in office, my first priority was to build the best terrorism defense in the world. Mm. And I created an office of emergency management, which we never had before. I got the biggest expert I could get to manage it. And we spent a very large amount of time studying what could happen to us and practicing. We brought in people from other cities. We brought in people from for the country. We brought in people from Israel.
Yes.
We had Israelis come and train us on how to deal with suicide bombings.
Yes.
We had never dealt with suicide bombings. We had a terrorist attack almost about a year and a half earlier when Howard Safer was police commissioner, where they had explosives that could have blown up an entire subway station. The guy was caught 4 blocks away in an apartment building, and he was shot dead on the way to hitting a toggle switch.
Yes.
I had another 5 or 6 ones that never became public.
Yeah, and people don't talk about that.
We were ready for it. Here's what we weren't ready for. I always, when I say this in a speech, we anticipated everything. but you never anticipate everything.
Yeah.
We had never prepared for or envisioned airplanes being used as missiles to go into the middle of the buildings. You're going to hit the bottom of a building? You're going to do a suicide bombing throughout the building? Yeah, sure.
Imagine they hit an hour later, 30 stories lower. There'd be 50,000 people dead, right?
Yeah, of course, of course.
It's incredible.
By the time I was there, I asked Bernie, put in the hard lines. By the time I was there, the first thing I said to him when I got out of the first thing was, how bad is it? It's hell. And my deputy mayor, chief deputy mayor, who helped me to run it, Joe Loda, who runs Langone Hospital now, Joe said, boss, they're jumping out of windows. It's so bad. Wow. I said, did you get the hard lines? And he says, look, because we're very proud of how he would do things quickly. Yeah, look. And I look down the street on Barclay Street, and I see all these police trucks there. And they're all, I gave this order like 5 minutes ago, and they were already there putting the lines in. They said, boss, what do we do? I said, first thing we do, we go see Gansey, make sure he's got everything. I want you and Gansey to be one here. I don't want any problem with a cop saying, we're in charge of fire. I said, right now, Commissioner, what do you tell me? What's your call? Because we had a very strict rule. First thing you do in an emergency is set up the commander. Boom. And the mayor makes the order, and they listen to it. That's why I used to go.
Right.
We had a situation in the city 4 or 5 years earlier when fire and police were fighting with each other as who was going to go save the people in the river, and nobody was going. People are yelling in the river, and they're punching each other out.
So you were in the EOC when the first building collapsed. You were trapped in there, right? For a while?
I'll tell you what happened. We go with Gansey. We set up everything. I wish him luck. I give him my advice. He gives me his advice, which was more important. He arranges things with Bernie. We come back. Now that at center, 2 blocks away is set up. We walk in, and everybody's on a phone trying to get information, and also we're trying to get the White House. I get the White House. They tell me that one of the top aides there tells me they're evacuating the White House. Yes, there are other attacks. Could be 7 to 12 planes. We're going to have airplanes over your city very shortly. I said, do we have aircon? I want to talk to the vice president because I have some things I want to do, and I want to make sure the president agrees. He said the president is being taken to a secure location. Can you imagine how that starts putting the weight on you? It's like, okay,
this is real.
We're on our own. That's what I said. I get off the phone. I call Bernie, and I said, Bernie, we're on our own. He said, why? Federal government's protecting the president. And we agreed with that. We thought they should take him in here. Remember our mentality then is not now. Our mentality then is this is such a big attack, more are going to happen. What's next? They're going to hit us again. They're going to hit Chicago. They're going to hit Philadelphia. They're going to come and try to take out. Their main target in New York was always the stock exchange. They're going to come back and get that.
Yeah.
What else are they going to hit? Hit St. Patrick's, St. John the Divine. They're going to go for. They've gone after military. They've gone after political. They've gone after economic. They're going to go after religion. I mean, the Muslims hate all of that, and religion's the biggest. And they've been dedicated. I mean, I was not a naive, euphemistic suck-up on the Muslim religion. I knew the bad and the good of it. And there's a lot of bad.
They were foiled. They were caught mixing the explosives in a Midtown warehouse near Murray Hill to take out FBI headquarters, the Holland Tunnel, the GW Bridge. I heard the Sudanese embassy may have given them the keys to the parking garage of the United Nations.
The United Nations is controlled by them.
Yeah.
Some of those agencies should be designated as terrorist groups. People have no idea of the depth of the infiltration of the democratic regimes and then the deep state toward Islamic terrorism, including the completely euphemistic way in which they hide from the American people the truth about the Muslim religion, which everything these people did, they could find justification for in their holy book.
They were allowed to lie, right?
So they could find justification for it in their holy book. And the ones who couldn't find there, they could find it in Karl Marx.
So going back to the Al Farouk Mosque was a recruiting place for the Mujahideen to go fight in Afghanistan. Atlantic Avenue, the spice markets, they had recruiting videos.
Well, we had celebrations.
So there was a long history going back to the 80s of recruitment, right, for Al-Qaeda.
You have exactly the place. You're really very knowledgeable. The two major places that we had to worry about, eventually Queens. And then under Bloomberg, Queens got worse. If I were there 5 years later, Queens would have been a heavy. But when I was there, it was downtown, inner Brooklyn, where I went to high school.
Yeah.
I knew that geography really well. And then bigger time, New Jersey, because that's where they planned
So the
attack.
Jersey City Mosque, the Manhattan Mosque, the Brooklyn Mosque, all run by the blind sheikh.
I authorized something very controversial for which Bloomberg got blamed, but then I stood up for it. Yeah. I put New York City police in New Jersey, undercover. I recruited them on purpose. I had the FBI help me. We trained them in Arabic if they didn't know it. We made them look like...
I didn't know that.
We made them look like what the hell they were. And we had, by 1997, 98, when we had one of our first warnings that we would be attacked, I was able to check and be very secure it wasn't coming from New Jersey. And Bernie was very secure. By the time I got down there, this hadn't come from New Jersey because we had covered it so well.
Yeah.
Eventually, years later, Christie discovered it.
Yeah.
Got very angry that we had him there, didn't tell him about it. And we didn't overlap much when he was mayor. I said, why would they tell you about it? This is top secret. They need to know. You didn't have a need to know. He said, suppose we ran into them. He said, have you ever done undercover work? We run into people all the time.
Wow.
I mean, what do we do? Inform everybody?
So there was a $23 million weapons ring broken up out of Jersey City, correct?
Yep. And there was a shooting in Brooklyn, I'd say legitimately, without exaggeration, 10 seconds before the entire building was broken down by a Al-Qaeda guy who was going to take out an entire subway station and then 2 buildings. He was killed on the way to the toggle switch.
Yes.
And when it was described, he was described as a terrorist, but no one described the dimension of what he had planned, which the FBI then was able to figure out by investigating.
Hi, it's Christina again. Is your shower trying to tell you something? Is getting in and out of the bathtub becoming a safety concern? Are you worried about the cost of a bathroom remodel that could go on for weeks and weeks? Well, now you can have a gorgeous new bath or shower that's safer at a price you can afford with a one-day jacuzzi bath remodel. And now they're bringing you this special TV offer. We're waiving all installation costs and postponing all payments for up to 1 year. Jacuzzi bath remodel has the design you'll love at a price you can afford.
Literally, they came in the morning, did the demolition, and installed our bathtub in one day. I definitely wish we called jacuzzi a lot sooner.
Okay, so tell me, what are the 2 most common reasons people are calling jacuzzi bath remodel right now?
Well, maybe they're just tired of the old worn-out eyesore of a bath. Often they have dated colors, tiles that might be cracking and fading, or impossible to clean grout. Christina, did you know that the average shower has up to 300 linear feet of grout?
Honestly, I had no idea.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of scrubbing. So that's definitely one of the reasons people call. And you'll love that the new bath or shower just rinses clean and resists mold and mildew. Now, another big reason people call is they've been feeling uneasy stepping over that tub to take a shower. And we're here to help with a safer, more stylish shower that you'll love and is custom designed for you.
Every time I stepped over my old bathtub, I worried I might fall. I don't have those fears anymore. Jacuzzi bath remodel gave me a gorgeous shower that's safe too.
It was done in the same day. We did not have to wait. It is amazing.
Time is running out to take advantage of this special offer. When you call right now, we're waiving all installation costs with our Christina Across America offer and no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Call now to schedule your free, no obligation in-home design consultation. You can create your new bath or shower customized just for you, installed in just 1 day from the most trusted name with Jacuzzi Bath Remodel. Call now.
It's never been easier. Get your free design consultation, schedule your one-day installation, and start loving your new bath or shower right away.
You can go from this to this, and from this to this, or even from this to all this in just 1 day.
I did not like my bathroom before and was embarrassed by it.
Yes. This is unbelievable. It is stunning. I can't believe it.
Time is running out to take advantage of this special offer. When you call right now, we're waiving all installation costs with our Christina Across America offer and no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Call now to schedule your free, no obligation in-home design consultation. You can create your new bath or shower customized just for you, installed in just 1 day from the most trusted name with Jacuzzi Bath Remodel. Call now.
I sat down with Rudy Giuliani up in New Hampshire about the 9/11 and the day's events. The greatest mayor in American history. Here's the rest of it. On 9/11, 5 buildings collapsed down there in the Trade Center. 3 partially collapsed in addition. 11 buildings suffered major damage. 37 buildings had damage in addition to that. And chunks of Building 7 were taken out, from what I understand, the size of trucks from when the building collapsed. And the structural integrity of that building, it burned for 7 hours, no water pressure in the 16-acre debris field, and it burned for all that time. And EOC members have told me that they tried to get back up to the 23rd floor in Building 7, but stopped at the 7th floor, knowing that the building was creaking and was going to go down. I wanted to ask you, and this is really important, what do you say to people who say that there were explosives placed in the building prior to the planes hitting?
I say there's no evidence of that. There's nothing that suggests that there were explosives in the building except it came down. The coming down is perfectly explainable by what it was hit with. Yeah. I was told it was going to come down the minute they saw it hit. In fact, that's the way Gansey thought the 2 towers were going to come down. They were going to come down, not implode, but come down over a period. He thought he had about 2.5 days.
Right.
When I got informed about that building, they said it was going to, they were pretty sure it was going to come down before the end of the night, if not the next morning.
Sure. And they evacuated.
And I got that information the first time I went there because I wanted to go in.
Yeah.
You know, my corporation counsel was the last person out of the building.
Wow.
Michael Hess.
Yes. I wanted to ask you about 410,000 first responders came through the pile, right? That day, subsequent to the events of that day, almost 8,000 have died so far, including the people who lost their lives that day. 70,000 plus are sick with cancer, COPD, PTSD, and mesothelioma showing up 20 years later.
I'm certain, and so is Dr. Maria, that Bernie's death was at least a causative factor, was the 5-year lung damage he was being treated for. No one knew that Bernie was very, very sick. Now, he also created a heart problem. And doctors feel that if the lung hadn't deteriorated like that, some of the he had like a beating heart problem, would not have happened.
Sure.
I must personally know 50 people that died either for sure or arguably because of their involvement down there. And I have a spot on my lung, but it's not.
Wow.
I've had it for about 5 years and it hasn't spread, which gives me great confidence that I'll die with it.
Wow. Well, let's talk about Bernie Kerik, right? He passed recently. We covered the funeral, Real America's Voice. Big asset. I always enjoyed talking to him about 9/11. What did it mean to you, and how was it working with him in the midst of everything that happened at 9/11 and post 9/11?
Well, Bernie was a rock of solidity that would not have made it possible for me to do the things I did without him, or without Von Essen, or without Richie Shearer. They were the 3 big ones. They were the heads of fire, police, emergency services. They worked without sleep that I ever discerned for 2 straight months.
Yeah.
They were rocks of granite. All of them get great credit for what they did, and they all helped each other get it. And God just blessed me with just terrific people. Now, throughout the administration, I had people I had to take off. I had people having nervous breakdowns right at a meeting. I had to take people off duty. I had surprises, people I thought who could handle it couldn't. People stepped up who I didn't think were heroes. But the 3 of them, I consider them like rocks of granite.
Donald Trump. What was your interaction back then? I know he brought on a lot of Teamsters to help clean up the site. What was your experience?
Well, at that time, he'd been a friend for about 11 or 12, or more than that. We became friends in 1986. And as the years went along, we got closer and closer because he was a Democrat and supported me immediately for mayor in 1988. Supported me without fail in all of I ran twice, lost once, ran again. Democratic Party was very angry at him. He was one of my major supporters.
Yes.
And you get Donald Trump, you get all of Donald Trump's friends. Not only that, he was a supporter of my policies. You have to have described him as a conservative Democrat. He agreed with all the crime things he's doing now are the crime things I did then and that he supported then.
Yes.
And that he applauded me for.
How do we get leadership back in New York City?
You elect one.
I want to thank you so much for taking the time.
This was one of the best interviews I've had. I got to say something. You know the background of this better than anybody's ever interviewed me.
Wow. Well, it's near and dear to me.
So we should be in contact. I could use you.
Yeah. Listen,
thank you.
You know, the people of New York were grateful for your leadership, not only during 9/11,
thank you,
but turning it around to New York City.
Thank you. You know the message I'd like to leave them with?
Yeah.
Look, I'm just a human being. I am very aware of the fact that I didn't do it by myself.
Yes.
I did get very, very lucky in having a terrific staff.
Yes.
And I had a great Speaker of the City Council, a Democrat, Peter Vallone. George Pataki did a lot.
I like Peter Vallone.
George couldn't accomplish as much because he had the crook, Shelley Silver.
Yeah.
I knew that. I always felt bad for George. After my original support for Cuomo, I regretted it somewhat because George turned out to be a great, great person.
Yeah. And showed leadership after 9/11. Yeah.
He made one of the critical decisions in putting us together. Nobody knows this, and it should be explained more because people will follow it. We were a team for 4 months. We were not outside of each other's sight more than 2 hours a day. We had our staff meetings together. He took the governor's staff meeting and the mayor's staff meeting, and we held it together because we knew we could get along. But we know government enough to know that our staffs are going to fight no matter what.
Yeah.
And we put them there and made them work jointly on things. And here was the outcome of it. If something went wrong, had we not done that, his staff would have blamed me, my staff would have blamed him, and we never would have resolved it.
Yeah.
Now, if it goes wrong, we both have to defend it.
They're all in the same room.
And we got to fix it.
Yeah.
It was, and I think he came up with that idea. If he didn't, he agreed to it right away. And I think that is probably a core principle of how you deal with an emergency. There's got to be a joint. If you see a hurricane and you see, like in Katrina, the governor in the Capitol and the mayor in a boat having a nervous breakdown, the federal government can't do anything about that.
Right.
Because they're not on the spot. The president's going to go awful.
Yeah. And
the people are going to die.
Well, again, it means a lot that you took the time for us. I want to thank you. And, this
is very valuable.
Reach out anytime.
That there, Real America's Voice.
Real America's
Voice. You're one of the prime 10, I'd say, I put on a list of 8, 10 that saved free speech in America during the Dark Ages.
We're in touch with the people.
The Dark Ages were the
We listen to the real American voices across America.
Yeah.
And that's what makes RAV a great place.
You're just telling the truth.
Yes.
You're using your common sense, as the president says, to try to figure out the truth. Look, there are times I disagree with him.
Wear a mirror.
But I use the same process that he uses. And then I eventually can figure out, or he moderates it, or, it's not that you agree with someone like that who you admire. I've worked for Ronald Reagan.
Yes.
I agree with Ronald Reagan 80% of the time, 90% of the time. But that's more than enough. And he did monumental things like free Eastern Europe.
You know what the core of it is? The good people of America are tired of being told they're the bad people. And that's why Donald Trump got elected again.
Yeah. Well, we could talk about this at some point, but I'm going to tell you the key thing to it, throwing God out.
Sure.
You throw God out, you can't have morality.
Look what happened in Minneapolis today.
You need, I say to people that don't believe in God, you're better off with a country that believes in God, because it'll be a better country. Maybe you're special and you can figure out how to be very moral and high-minded and contributory without God. Most people need God. 100
million were killed under communism.
So I used to know atheists I debated with who used to say that. I learned that from an agnostic.
Yeah.
I don't think God exists. I can't quite get myself there. It isn't that I'm sure he doesn't, but I can't see the proof. But I think it's much better that people do because it makes them better.
There's no doubt about it. Thank you again.
All right. Thank you.
All right. I'm so excited to have Maria from switch2usa.com with us. Switch, the number 2usa.com. She's been a longtime supporter of the show, and we're so grateful. Maria, how are you?
I'm well. Thank you for having me, David. And I'm very excited to be here and let everyone know what's been going on.
Yeah, so tell us about Switch to USA, American-made products by American factory workers.
This is an extraordinary time for all of us to be in this mission. The mission is not only MAGA, but MAHA, right? And we've been in this business for maybe 3.5, 4 years. Some of us maybe longer. We are an American manufacturer. We did the deep dive. We found an American manufacturer that's been doing business for 40 years. And it's a discount club membership. So you get between 45 and 47% off when you shop monthly. It's all wellness products, cleaning, laundry, toothpaste, mouthwash, the basic essentials for every American. So I always say, if you have skin and hair and teeth, this is where you need to be. This is a mission where we can defund the BlackRock and the pyramid scheme that's BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. And this is an American-owned, made in America manufacturer. They're all processed here in the USA, manufactured here in the USA. Everything is door delivered, including our ranch. We have a ranch, and everything is USA processed right here from our ranch. They have a processing center.
All right. Tell our viewers how they can get involved and how do they find you?
Oh, please come to switch2usa.com. Either myself or my family and team will answer your call. Please schedule an appointment. So expect to hear about the details. You get to pick and choose if you want beef or wellness or both. We'll sign you up and expect to shop with us on the very first time. And then every month thereafter, you get to shop all by yourself. And remember, this is a patriot mission. And we're so grateful that we get to build America.
All right, Maria Lynn, love to see you. And go to the bottom of the screen there, switch2usa.com, and get it today. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul. Something shocking is happening with gold that the mainstream media won't report. Paper contracts for gold rarely result in physical delivery. But today, billionaires and major banks are demanding actual gold bars at 10 times the normal rate. Why the panic for physical gold? These institutional giants understand our $37 trillion debt means we're on a path to currency collapse. The good news, you can make the same move. A gold IRA from my trusted friends at Birch Gold Group lets you move your IRA or 401k into gold. To learn more, click below to get a free info kit on gold. Throughout history, gold has endured where currencies failed. Right now, the biggest players in the finance industry are proving this time won't be different. Click below for your free info kit from Birch Gold and diversify your savings now.
Did you know that thousands of authors across the country have written books and published them with Page Publishing? If you've written a book, Page Publishing can help you through the process. We cut through the confusion of the publishing world to make it easy for you.
Call or scan for your free writer's guide today.
Attention homeowners. Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Is the bank threatening to take your home? Is your home worth less than you owe? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need to call this number right now.
Call 800-711